Hello and welcome back to An Old Man Watches, where today I'm going to be talking about the 2009 horror film After Dusk They Come, which can also be found under the titles The Forgotten Ones and The Tribe, and which is an equally bad film under any of the names it may have been presenting itself. In the film, we meet Liz and her friends who are heading off on a sailing holiday together. They expect the worst trouble they'll face will be their own simmering tensions and resentments. There's a lot of complex relationships among these quote unquote friends. But when the group ends up off course and then shipwrecked on an uncharted island, they quickly realise they've got even bigger problems to deal with. Now, these problems aren't just the regular Robinson Crusoe survival challenges, mind you, because this island proves to be the lair of a degenerate race of semi-humanoid monsters with a taste for flesh. And our shipwrecked holidaymakers are most definitely on the menu. Can Liz, and let's be honest, it's pretty obvious from the start that it's only Liz, somehow find a way to survive this brutal ordeal? Well, you might be saying to yourself, in fact, the only character you've mentioned by name is Liz, so why is the image on my screen a guy, not a woman? And I suspect the answer to that is pretty simple. That guy is Kellen Lutz, an actor with a fairly major role in the Twilight movies. The first of those films hit cinemas in 2008, and when you've got a connection to a media juggernaut like that, your marketing is going to play it up for all it's worth, even if the actor who gives you that connection isn't anywhere near being your lead. In fact, if Kellen Lutz hadn't been in this movie, it's possible it never would have been released at all. Because when they saw the first cut of the film, the production company immediately recognised that they had a turkey on their hands. Not a good feeling when you've just spent $20 million, I'm thinking. Now, normally, the plan in these situations is to do reshoots in the first instance, but they weren't able to get the original cast members back. I suspect that Kellen Lutz's availability may have been a key issue there. So, unable to fix this version of the film, they decided to scrap it and remake the whole production with a new director and cast. And movie studios do this. They just completely bin a movie because they figure they'll lose less money by not releasing it than by the marketing costs and production costs of actually getting it out there. Unfortunately, the remake was the 2010 offering The Lost Tribe, which I've not seen, but which somehow has an even lower IMDb rating than this movie does. So it appears that remaking the film didn't work either. So, if you're wondering why, despite recognising that this was a poor film and immediately beginning a remake, the company still decided to release the movie, well, I think the answer is, let's cash in on Kellen Lutz, stick him on the DVD case, and hope we might make some money back. I doubt it did a lot for them financially, though, because, this is a bad film. And one of its flaws is how much it appropriates from a better movie. That movie is the 2005 horror film The Descent, in which a group of friends with simmering tensions between them find themselves trapped in an uncharted location far from where they're actually supposed to be. In The Descent, it's a cave system rather than an island, and as the spelunkers search for a way out of the cave, a way out which may or may not exist, they find themselves under attack from hideous humanoid predators. And look, you might be thinking, okay, there's a lot of similarity in the basic premise of these two films, but Isolated and Hunted by a Monster is also the plot of Alien or The Predator, so it's not like there aren't other movies this could be basing itself on. Which is true, but then we get to the fact that as cave-dwelling creatures, the monsters in the Descent are blind and hunt by sound and scent. Want to guess what discovery Liz makes that helps her out-survive her fellow holidaymakers? Yep, the monsters in this film are nocturnal, and they hunt by sound and scent. Now, I will give After Dark They Come a few points for not copying either of the Descent's two alternative endings, neither of which were all that satisfying to my mind. But then I have to deduct those bonus points again for what it actually does instead, which is a tedious, unconvincing, and tension-free one-on-one battle between Liz and the Alpha Monster. It doesn't work as a finale. It's a traditional finale, and it should work if it's well executed, but it's not. And tedious and tension-free is this movie's biggest flaw, it has to be said. Most of the fault for this can be laid at the feet of the first act of the film. The opening half hour or so of After Dusk They Come is one of the blandest and most lukewarm of bland, lukewarm cinematic leftovers. There's a very strong sense of, I have seen all this before, and I don't just mean in The Descent, I mean in dozens and dozens of movies. Added to that is the fact that the script rapidly establishes all four of Liz's friends as deeply unlikable people. Not that Liz herself is some paragon of virtue and sympathy, mind you, but as the only barely tolerable person on screen, she may as well have sole survivor tattooed on her forehead. You can't have tension when you know exactly who is going to die, and for that matter, when you're genuinely looking forward to most of them biting it. After Dusk they may come, but I don't suggest you bother sticking around to see them. There are plenty of much better monster movies out there that you should spend your time with instead. Next time, 1940s noir with The Big Sleep. It's one of the most famed films of the genre, and I think it deserves the hype. But that's next time. Until then, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you've seen today's movies, well, first of all, my condolences. And secondly, let me know what you thought of it.